Hi, fellow Chronoholics. I am Dr. Karan Madan.
And I'm Mrunal.
I'll introduce him.
I wasn't sure I was
He jumped the gun. But that's all right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm a doctor by profession and a watch collector by passion. It is our duty to put the Indian watch community front and center as the drivers of this industry. As a part of that big mission, we love bringing you Chronoholic stories from across India. And today we are in the city of Pune. And our guest today is Mr. Mrunal Nagpal, as he rightfully said. He is a traveler, a fellow knife collector, a chef, a restaurateur, a successful real estate developer, an amazing human being. And welcome to Chronoholic Stories, Mrunal. How are you doing?
Hello. Thank you so much. Always happy to see you.
Oh, my pleasure, of course.
And talk watches.
Talk watches, that's what we do.
And one of my first hobbies was actually collecting knives.
Wow.
I would obsess over, your foldable knives,
Sure.
your Swiss Army knives.
Sure.
And then I wanted one of each. So I have one Leatherman, one Gerber.
Nice.
One Victorinox. I forget. There's another.
SOG. SOG, probably.
The French knife that you told me that's really popular. The wooden handle, Opel.
Opinel, yes.
Which I didn't know was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was gifted to me by someone.
Oh, wow,
because you're fond of knives, you should have one of these.
Oh.
And it just sat there rusting until one day you spoke about your Opinel. And I was like, oh, I have one of those.
Yeah.
So I pulled it out, cleaned it,
Amazing.
got the rust off it.
Amazing. See, so a lot of fellow knife collectors and EDC guys will be appreciative of this conversation
I sort
as
of
well.
pivoted from knives to BB guns also. BB guns, your CO2 pistols.
Okay.
But then I had to hold back. No, bus ho gaya.
Yeah. But then came watches. So
watches was also almost always there. I think my mum says that the first time I did have a fight or I was, being unruly was for a watch.
Look at that, okay.
Because I was a rather well-behaved kid, but the only time that I told my dad I want a nice watch. And my idea of a nice watch was a watch that could talk. Because I was in, I think, first grade or second grade.
Sure.
And he says, there is no way in hell I'm buying you that stupid, shitty Chinese watch.
But did that translate eventually to a watch?
It did. I don't think, maybe not second grade, but 10 years old, yes.
Yeah.
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade then, yeah. That's
Fifth grade, yeah. So this is what I got then.
Oh, wow.
And I still have it.
Yeah.
It's beat down. It used to be silver when I got it. I don't find the strap anymore.
Yeah, I remember this resin, this plastic case used to have a silver coating on top, right? Which gets rubbed off. Timex, data link,
well.
Yeah, sure.
So
right.
then I sort of sold this to my father. Like I think it was my first sales pitch as a child.
Okay.
Because I was terrible with numbers. And I was like, what if I get lost? Like, I don't know the ghar ka number. I don't remember it.
Okay.
What will I do?
Yeah.
I can put numbers into my watch.
Yeah, look at that. I'll never get lost. Sales guy.
And then I said, I can put my schedule in so I can I can be more productive. And then he's like, why does a fifth grader need a schedule? It's like, no, so I remember to do my homework in time. So I sold this to him.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I'll get you this. So this is how I got the watch.
Yeah.
And then we used to have those CRT monitors. So this would read the CRT monitor.
That's right.
Day schedule numbers.
Yeah.
If I had to change it.
Yeah.
And the software came on a floppy drive. My God, it was so high tech. I felt like I was a spy. To go to school and show people, look at this.
Look at this. What all I can do. What all my watch can do.
Yeah. You know how it transfers data? It's got an infrared reader on top.
Yeah, that's right. Did you do that switching on and off the TV when people were watching?
No, this didn't have that.
Okay.
That was the Casio.
That's right. Yes, that was the Casio.
That was the Casio calculator.
Right. Yeah.
It was between this and that.
Yeah.
But this one. Yeah, this one.
No, you have my compliments for maintaining and still owning your first ever watch, because 90% of the people I speak to, they've kind of misplaced their first watch. I've misplaced my first watch.
I lost my dad young. So
right.
It's one of those things.
Very sorry for that.
That he got me. And, I made a huge fuss about.
Yeah.
So the watch, as a watch, holds a lot of place for me, and like a little bit of that emotional run to it also.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give this to my nephew.
Sure.
But he wasn't very excited by it. So I said, वो ख्याल नहीं रखेगा, इसलिए मैं तुझे ले तुझे पसंद.
Yeah, you buy him a new one then.
Yeah, I bought him a new watch.
Yeah, makes sense.
मैंने वापस ले ली उससे.
It makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. And how did you end up finding the exact matching orange rubber strap with your matching with that orange button?
बड़ा ढूंढा. 2-3 permutation combination मंगाए.
Yeah.
बहुत ही सादा सा strap है.
It doesn't matter. It's elevating the look of the watch altogether.
I actually told this story to my wife,
Yeah.
and my wife says that for someone that has never met your father,
Yeah.
I believe I would have gotten on with him like a house on fire.
Yeah.
So she said,
Yeah.
I want to wear the watch because I told her the story.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, but you know, I want you to change the strap. Then it had a black silicone
Black
strap,
silicone strap. Yes. Yeah.
which she said doesn't look nice on my wrist.
Right.
So I said, fine. So I went out hunting. And I found this orange strap,
Right.
and she did wear it a few times. And
Sure.
she does on and off.
Mm-hmm.
When
Do you wear it anymore?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, Sunday afternoon,
Right.
shorts mein ghar mein baithe.
Exactly. This
It's
is
a
the
nice
watch you
fun
wear.
watch.
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
I'm actually currently obsessed with fun watches.
Yeah.
This I hounded you for.
Yes, you did. So that's the Casio Manga. Nice watch there.
Yes, I love the watch.
Do you get like queries that from people? मुझे दे
I do
दो,
a lot.
मुझे दे दो, please.
दे दो वाली तो नहीं आती, but ये कहाँ से नहीं आती है?
हाँ,
Like, अब मिलेगी नहीं.
अब तो नहीं मिलेगी.
बड़ी लड़ झगड़ के हमने एक दोस्त
Yeah.
से करवाया था. Do you remember the story with this? I booked it online.
Yes, yes, of course I remember the story. Yes.
And they refused to deliver. I was
Yeah.
one of the first few people.
Yes.
It came out at 12, and I don't know why I woke up at 12:45 and I went and bought my watch. And then I see stories of people, you know, getting their watch.
Yeah.
It's been shipped out.
Yeah.
There's nothing on my watch. It's like, no, your zone is not
No
shipped
update
out.
from Casio India. Yeah?
No update. I kept writing to them. They
right.
said, no, your pin code has not been,
Yeah.
it's not been shipped to.
Yeah.
Then I found out 2 people in Pune had gotten their watch from the website.
Oh my God.
And then finally, Pandol had a blue.
Okay.
And then I reached out. He was like, नहीं यार मुझे तो white चाहिए. So you said no, the group order I can still accommodate. But I
Yeah.
think there was a cancellation.
Yeah,
Thing. And I was
yeah.
like, yes, please.
So, you know, for people who are not aware, we do amazing group orders on Chronoholic for Casio, Seiko, Citizen watches, and we get the best prices in the country as well. He'll attest to the fact.
For sure. I mean, uncomparable. And that aside, like the general reach you have, you know,
Yeah.
when you have a bulk deal that's going out, with
Yeah.
this particular watch that's
Right,
going out,
yeah.
I know I struggle to get them. But I have one person I reach out to. I'm like, Karan bhai, please, ये चाहिए. कहीं से तो करा के दो.
No, my pleasure. I'm happy. You know, this is what drives me. I'm happy that my friends get the best watches, the desirable watches at the best prices, you know.
Absolutely.
So, another reason to join Chronoholic right now. Okay, so you told me about the fun watches in your collection right now.
I have
You
another
said-
fun watch.
Yes, please tell me.
And I have the most fun story saved for it. So this
Yeah.
is your Mr. Jones.
Oh yeah, that's right. Beautifully, no, what was it called? A perfectly useless afternoon.
Perfectly useless afternoon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Perfectly useless afternoon.
lovely watch though.
Again, I switched out the metal strap. I,
Yeah.
I have this thing with most of my
Yeah.
watches. I like them on
All of them are on different straps than what they came with, right?
than what they came on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's nice. You know,
I think all of them.
customizability, I think, is a big part of your of what you do with your
Surprisingly,
watches.
this one's still on the strap it came on, but because it came on a leather
Yeah,
strap.
yeah. No. So tell me about this.
This watch, I was out drinking with a friend, and he's showing me one of these Chinese quirky watches.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, why do you want to get that? And he's like, I want a fun watch.
Yeah.
So I opened this website and I was like, this watch I've been obsessed with. Unfortunately, every time a friend travels to London, मेरा रह जाता है मंगाना. He's like, this friend of mine is in London right now.
Oh wow.
I was like, okay, I want this watch. And he's like, wait, I want to get another also. So he got that, there's a watch, it's a plain white dial, black bezel, and the minute hand says remember, and the hour hand says you will die.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, because I don't want to take life too seriously when I'm
Yeah,
wearing this. He's
yeah.
like, yeah, so this is perfect. So we sat there really drunk, put my card in, shipped it to her. You know, so we were worried because she was leaving in a week. So will it get to her?
Will it get to her?
We
Yeah.
messaged Mr. Jones.
Okay.
Unfortunately, तब तक उनका day था.
Yeah.
4-5
Sure,
घंटे
sure,
पीछे थे.
fair.
They said, yeah, we'll get it there in 2 working days. It's like, but it's a weekend. It's like, no worries.
You'll get it there.
It's a Thursday right now. If you order it right now, it'll get to her by Saturday.
Oh,
not
wow.
even Monday.
Amazing.
Like said, तब
Amazing.
मंगाया,
Look at that.
पहुंचा, Wednesday को आ गई. I was like, अरे ये तो बढ़िया हो गया. And honestly, I think the manga, this and this are my most worn watches.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you've pointed 2-3 times to that. Let's talk about that. Which one is it?
oh, this it's a simple. It's a Devel. It's an old watch.
Yeah.
I bought this pre-owned.
Okay.
I bought it from someone in Pune
Okay.
who bought it and then misplaced it in his sofa for 5 years. So it was unused when I got it.
Yeah.
Parsi fellow.
Huh?
बोलता है कि यार मैंने पहनी.
And I misplaced
then
it in my sofa.
I thought I had misplaced it.
Okay.
And then 4-5 years later,
Yeah.
I reached like cleaning में सोफे से निकली है.
Okay.
बिना पहनी हुई घड़ी.
Okay.
I actually really like the simpler dials.
Mhm.
Like I was telling you that.
Yeah.
My obsession wouldn't be with the newer Nautilus or the Cubiters. Or
Sure.
I'm not even very fond of like like the
The
newer
APs
Vacherons,
and the Vacherons and stuff, yeah,
Vacherons.
yeah.
I like the older Vacherons.
Right.
Simple, clean.
The
nice.
traditionals,
The
that's what you would go for. Yeah. Historics?
I'd like the historics. I'd love
Yeah.
a simple Patek,
Sure. A
sub-second
Calatrava,
head.
sub-second, yeah.
Sub-second.
Nice.
Simple.
Yeah.
38, 39 mm.
Sure.
I don't want the overtly large watches. I have a fairly small wrist. 41 is my level of comfort.
Right.
This monstrosity.
I think you have a good wrist, but okay.
It still sits okay on my wrist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know why. 6 months se I haven't had a hankering to watch.
Since you've got
8
this.
months. I don't know how long I've had this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a very calm few months since I got this.
Yeah.
I can't keep it off my wrist. I love it.
Nice.
I really enjoy it.
Nice. You know what? I'm jealous of you right now. To find a watch that does that to you, where it nullifies all
And
cravings.
surprisingly, it wasn't like a grail watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bucket list watch.
Sure.
It was one of those watches that I was obsessing over. It was one of those watches that I came across.
Yeah.
I bought.
Yeah.
And it gave me the kind of peace that I did not expect to get.
Wow.
It was not like, most of these watches I've gone out and hunted down.
Sure.
Or I've had some story for them. Like this has been on my list for I don't know how long. This from when it was launched in Japan to it came to India.
It came to India, yeah. I think the Mango came to India about a month later, and that's why
I felt like it came 6 months later. I wanted it so bad. Like, yes.
When is it coming, right? Yeah. No, I got thousands of queries, honestly. And of course, we did a very successful group order with over 120 pieces of the manga series reserved for our community. So that was big. Yeah. And so, was this also on your bucket list?
It was not.
It was not. So how did you say, okay, I want it?
I owned an Aquaterra at some point in time.
Okay.
And again, I'd bought that pre-owned and it came with sort of a scratch on the glass, which is why I got good price for it.
Sure.
But I don't know, that was one of my grail watches, and the fact that I found it pre-owned, I was like, yes, I'll jump on it. And I thought I'd get the crystal changed. And I went there and he says he needs a service. So the guy that sold it to me took it back. Like he sort of mediated
helped you out there and said,
and it went for the price I bought it at.
Sure.
So
so there's no loss there, and
I didn't lose money
and you had a good time with the watch, whatever
I wore
time.
it for a few months. I had a good time with it, and that is still it was sort of my bucket list to make.
Right.
I wanted the Aquaterra white dial, orange second marker, blue hands.
Sure. Amazing.
With the blue silicone strap.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with it, and I found it. I found it on the metal strap.
Yeah.
I bought AliExpress se rubber strap manga.
We don't talk about that stuff. No, that's fine. I'm kidding.
वो केतन ने मंगा के दिया था शायद strap.
Okay.
So
Nice.
But anyways, that was one of the grails, and somehow because of that general purchase, I don't know. I never खुश नहीं होता था देख के. That gash sort of just stared back at me.
There are times, you think you're getting into a good deal, but then that cosmetic flaw will keep bothering you, keep nagging you, of course.
So
and this is
on the other
pristine,
hand,
absolutely pristine.
I got it pristine, but the strap was how when it sits around for too long, it becomes a little brittle. So I've moisturized this. घर जाके निविया क्रीम लगाई थी तो ठीक हुआ है.
No, I can see, there's actually a frailty coming up where you put the buckle in, so it's a little thin there. I can see that it needs a little work.
No, it was starting to crack here.
Yeah.
Before I put moisturizer.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then it sort of healed.
Yeah.
The strap leather healed when I sort of moisturized it.
Right.
It smelled funny for a few days.
Yeah, sure.
It's moisturizing cream mixed with your gentle perspiration, but and I don't know. I just came across the watch.
Yeah.
And I've been very happy with my life since.
Amazing. So moving on from the ultra satisfactory watch, you have some stories to share. You have a lovely Oris Aquis with you.
Yes.
And this is not the newer generation Aquis. This is one of the older ones, which came on this amazing rubber strap as well.
No. This came on the metal strap.
This was on metal strap.
Later.
Okay.
I don't remember where I bought the strap.
Looks like an AliExpress thing as well.
Possibly that. Yeah, the buckle is fairly frail. But I didn't wear it as much on the metal strap. I'm actually not a big diver person. I don't have a lot of your sports bases or the diver watches per se. I have this and one other if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
My first was an Invicta, which again, बचपन में ले ली शौक I realized क्या किया है.
We all make mistakes, okay? It's all right. It's okay. But as long as again, I'll not judge you or anybody for owning an Invicta, but I'll definitely judge you for calling it, it is equivalent to a Rolex. It's not. And it's fine to own an Invicta.
My brothers actually made fun of me when I bought the Invicta and I was wearing it next to him. He said, why are you wearing a fake on my watch? Because he was wearing the black GMT And I was wearing the black Invicta. And I was like, Bhaiya, because I can't afford your watch. You have 20 years on me. I'll get there.
Fair enough.
I bought that in my early 20s.
Yeah, wow, okay.
And yeah, so this, I think, is a spec monster.
It is. I think these are watches that absolutely, are way more value for the money that you pay.
Absolutely.
They carry all the right check boxes,
Right.
Swiss made, good build, good qualities, materials.
Great finish on
Great
them.
finish, exactly. And workhorse. I mean, you would expect a watch of this caliber to literally last you decades, if not generations. And Oris watches are fan favorites. I mean, we are fans of Oris on the community. You've seen our massive events we've done with Oris as well. And again, excellent watch though. This is the, again, I mean, I'm not going to comment on the strap, but the watch as such, lovely watch, the Oris Aquis. And then, of course, you have the Quorum Admiral's Cup.
This was one of my grades.
Yeah?
This...
Did you actually hunt it down?
I didn't.
You didn't?
So this is a watch that's been sitting in the store in Pune for years.
Okay.
And this was right around the time when I had sold my Omega. So
the Aquaterra that you sold, okay.
I had that money sitting around.
Sure.
And between then and buying this, I had bought a couple of smaller purchases. That craving was there.
Yeah.
I have this hole in my collection.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find the Aquaterra. And I knew this was sitting with the ethos in Pune.
Okay.
During COVID, I had messaged them and they told me that, they do a really good discount for me because they have a display piece that I can take. And it was a grail for me.
Yeah.
They used to have the one on the brown leather strap, which is what I wanted.
Sure.
And that day, the piece they had left over was the one with the silicone strap.
Silicone strap, okay.
The blue silicone strap.
Okay.
And they gave me a really good offer.
Yeah.
I walked into the store, I saw it, and I think someone from top management was there coincidentally that day.
Sure.
And I said, मुझे लेनी है. ये offer आपने मुझे कोविड में किया था. बोलते सर पर अब वो तो आज नहीं कर सकते.
Yeah.
Those were difficult times for us also.
Sure.
But ये हम कर सकते हैं. Something I just couldn't say no to.
Sure.
मैंने ये खरीद तो ली, फिर छुपाते घूम रहा था. I bought so many watches in that year.
Yeah.
So
happens.
I literally hid this in my car.
Okay.
It was hidden in the boot where the stepney goes. वहाँ पीछे डब्बे के साथ पड़ी थी.
Oh God.
और महीना भर बीवी को क्या बोलूँ ये सोच रहा था.
I hope the watch was not, languishing with the tools and
with
stuff.
The box,
with
the outer
box,
box, the whole packaging, थैली निकाल के अच्छे से पैक करके रखा था और महीना भर बीवी को क्या बोलूँ ये सोच रहा था. फिर एक दिन ऐसे ही मैंने कुछ कर दिया. ऐसा क्या कर दिया? तुझे बताना है. बस मतलब don't leave me.
Yeah. Take a deep breath.
So I go, I reach out and what is this box? And I open it. It's like, again? It's like I really wanted it, and he gave me a really good offer. I couldn't say no.
Couldn't say no, yeah.
So here it is now, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
And
how often do you wear it though?
I wear it not very often.
Not for the past 6 months because the Omega DeVille is taking up that time.
No, but it still gets a couple of times. Like शाम को जा रहे हैं बाहर 2-3 times a month तो हो जाता है.
Sure, nice.
However, this is my wife's favorite watch in my collection. And
unexpected but favorite now.
For as much as I was scared of telling her, she loves the Quorum. In fact, so much so that she wants to buy a Quorum herself.
Oh wow!
It's such an unconventional brand.
Yes.
That I love that about it.
Yes, true. True. It's an enthusiast brand. It's not a mainstream thing that people look at.
These flags, the nautical flags, represent numbers.
Yeah.
And I sort of when I read about it, I was blown away by that simple concept. To change something out. To use
correct.
A universal flag for a number.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I find that very unique.
Very unique, yeah.
Plus the pop of color, the sub-second hand.
Yeah, and people would actually mistake those for, countries ke flags. Sure, yes.
Almost everybody does.
Everybody does, but then you have to understand what it's all about. Yeah, very interesting watch.
And it's a solid watch.
It is. That it is.
So again, gives me great pleasure to wear this.
Wonderful.
Somehow, because I got this at great value, I use it as a beater.
Sure.
And because I bought this from the store,
you kind of have that
more care.
You appreciate the value of this watch.
Although the price point I bought the both at are fairly similar. It's one of those pieces that I absolutely love. And I love the fact that barely anybody's heard of it. So when I wear it out, I'm not getting compliments. People don't think, oh, swanky watch. It's just like, oh, it's a nice, pretty watch. What is it?
Does that, though, it's one of my pet questions to ask when people sit on this chair, is do you actually get compliments? Has it happened to you that people have gone?
I get compliments for the manga,
Yeah.
the Mr. Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
I have never gotten a compliment for the Oris or the Quorum or the other nicer watches I bought
Yeah,
over time.
yeah.
Like they're just like, हाँ ठीक है. सबके
Yeah,
पास होती है
सबके
एक
पास
अच्छी
होती है. No, something unique and something fun will always draw eyeballs, sure.
Yeah.
But you know, it's. I think, and you'll appreciate this fact that you know when you go out into the wild and you find somebody paying you a compliment.
Right.
Trust me, you'll ride that high for a month. Oh my God, my watch got me a compliment. You know.
Yeah. So I had it. I mean, I have a T-Swap banana. It's
Yeah,
not here today.
Sure.
It's unfortunately moved from my box to wife's box. I bought it with the intention that she liked it. She's like, I'll also wear it.
Sure.
मैंने शायद एक या दो बार पहनी है, वो उसी ने पहनी है.
Okay.
But she gets a ton of compliments for a guy's watch that she
Yeah,
wears around because it stands out. It's a
It
gold
absolutely stands
T-Swap
out. Yeah,
banana,
yeah.
and it's a simple watch.
Right. Tell me, Quorum done, Omega done. Those are your heavy hitters, so to say. Yeah.
Yes, you could say that.
Yeah.
Yes. The Oris is another
Yeah.
that we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's more of a monstrous, chunky weekend watch that you would wear to a beer drinking session, probably. Not be afraid
I'm
about.
not worried about anything happening to it,
exactly,
you know.
exactly, my
Could
point.
use
yeah.
it as a weapon to beat someone.
Yeah.
Go to a bar brawl and not worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Especially when it was a metal strap. My God, that was a whole thing. Yeah.
Very chunky and heavy.
Yeah,
I think
really chunky.
with the new designs, you know, they've tapered it out. They've made it more
The
refined.
older, like that strap
Yeah,
itself weighs
exactly.
more than some of my watches.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
I think they're still doing a good job as a brand,
Right.
but I would still love to see this kind of stuff come back. You know,
Oh,
they're
for sure,
catering to
for
the
sure,
to the modern demand.
somehow, you know, I tried on the 41
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think I'd go back to this. Like I'm
Yeah,
torn. So you
yeah.
know, I often wonder that should I switch it for a 41? I'm like, why am I doing that?
I don't
have
think you
this,
should. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it fits snug. Like it's
Yeah.
not. See,
Yeah. Look at that. Exactly. The case profile is so nice that you know you would
Like,
not
it doesn't
realize
look
it's a
out of
big
place.
watch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It 43 fits so well on your
Yeah.
wrist.
That's right.
And yeah, so now there are a few more that
Yeah.
I didn't carry with me.
Yeah.
But this was an absolute hunt for me.
Yeah. That's
I
the
was-
Presage Zen Garden.
The Presage Zen Garden.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with your Grand Seekos,
Yeah.
but I didn't have a Grand Seiko budget when I was hunting this down.
Okay.
And someone put it up on like for a listing somewhere, and I saw it. And he was so fond of his watch. He came up with the entire story of how he bought it because
Wow.
he says, you know, I wanted a snowflake,
Yeah.
but I opted for this instead.
Yeah.
And bought it in Singapore, bought
Sure.
it. And I loved his story.
Yeah.
His watch sold immediately
Yeah.
without talking.
Okay.
I met a fellow watch enthusiast. We still talk on and off. But फिर उसके बाद साल भर मुझे ये घड़ी मिली नहीं. I was like, मैं तो नहीं लूँगा.
Okay.
पर नहीं मिलनी नहीं थी कहीं. कोई सिंगापुर में नहीं ढूंढ पा रहा था कि
Yeah.
स्टॉक में नहीं थी.
Yeah. I think you asked me for this as well.
I did.
You did, and I told you that I think it's sold out in the company, in the Seiko company.
कहीं नहीं मिल
and
रही थी.
नहीं मिल रहा था.
A friend went to
Yeah.
Japan. I said, भाई वहाँ देख ले.
Yeah.
I think somebody on the group sent me a website from Japan also.
Okay.
And I could find it.
Okay.
I couldn't find it. And then someone from Pune, another fellow
Yeah.
collector from Chronoholics,
Yeah.
put this up.
Okay.
And I was like, भाई मुझे चाहिए. आज ही चाहिए. आज ही आता हूँ तेरे पास.
Look at that small world, huh? You're hunting the world over and you find it right in your city.
Yeah.
Amazing.
आज ही चाहिए, आज ही आता हूँ. And he said, yes, I'd also prefer an in-person deal.
Sure.
Versus me sending it to you, especially
Fair.
because it's in Pune.
Fair.
So he doesn't live too far away.
Okay.
But our timings wouldn't match.
Okay.
Then eventually he agreed to meet me in the evening.
Okay.
And I met him here at Shankarshade Road.
Okay.
He came down. We sat in my car. I handed over the cash to him.
Car deal, huh?
Literally, and like, you know, it's my booklet with it. And I was like, बस यार मुझे हमेशा से चाहिए थी.
Yeah.
And I think इस watch के मैं हर बार strap बदल के पहनता हूँ.
Yeah.
You can wear
It's
it with
such a
any
versatile,
strap.
such a versatile
You
watch.
wear it on a black
Yeah.
leather strap.
Yeah.
I have I think 6 suede leather straps.
Amazing.
It's an absolute strap monster.
Yeah,
And
sure.
when I got it, I think साल भर मैंने हर हफ्ता strap बदल के पहनी.
Very nice.
I had a box full of straps.
Yeah, just for this.
watch.
Wow.
20, 30 straps. So
Yeah.
I hunted this watch down. I really did.
This is actually a phenomenal watch, no question. And the fun fact is, or the sad fact rather, is that I think Seiko made very few quantities of these.
I somehow really like this polished edge.
Yeah.
Very pebble-like look.
Yeah.
Very like soothing to look
Right,
at.
right.
Which is similar on the titanium, but
Yeah.
titanium doesn't finish the way stainless steel
Absolutely,
does.
absolutely. And well, it's called the Zen Garden for a reason. So
Right.
you know,
It
you
is
have
it is absolute zen on
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And,
It came on the bracelet though.
It came on the bracelet.
Yeah.
I have never once worn it on the bracelet.
That's fine.
It came home,
That's all
took
right.
the bracelet off, and I mean, of course, Vijay Bhai had worn it on the bracelet a few
Sure,
times.
sure.
So it has some wear on it, but I have never once worn it on the
Yeah,
bracelet.
I think you're a strap guy anyway. You love
I am a
changing
strap
out your
guy.
straps
Yeah.
and as per your
I like
moods.
the way a leather strap feels on your wrist.
Sure.
And I don't personally like
How
how metal
bracelets-
temperature changes because I sort of run hot and फिर वो चटका मारती है summer
Yeah,
में.
yeah.
And then the monsoon, when it rains, it's a little cold on your
Right,
wrist. So
right, yeah.
I like how the leather strap sort of sets in with your
Sure.
body
Yeah,
temperature.
exactly, yeah. Another, you're talking about this with the suede strap. This is the Tissot Open Heart Powermatic 80.
So I'm going to talk about this and this together.
All right, please.
Uh,
So this is the Orient Sun and Moon, yes.
right.
You know, I love the multi-layered make on these
Right,
Orient
right.
watches. Tell me,
And,
please.
So this is when I was getting married. My wife wanted to buy me a diamond ring.
Okay.
And I said, I will never once in my life wear a diamond ring. But she says, I have to get you a ring. So I was like, get me a simple gold band,
Yeah,
preferably white gold.
yeah, sure.
Because वो भी नहीं पहनूंगा मैं, but ठीक है, if you want to get me one, get me one.
Okay.
She's like, no, but you know, I want to spend some money. She was struggling then. She had had a string of failed startups.
Oh, okay.
And we've been dating for a long time.
Yeah.
So I said, "तू जो तेरा मन करता है वो घड़ी लिया मेरे लिए."
Okay.
ठीक है? Because a watch I wear, I've
Okay.
always worn and I will wear. A ring I will not wear. So it's a waste of money. Plus
Sure, makes sense.
You've told me that diamonds are a complete waste.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we sort of figured out कि ये budget में कुछ लेना है हमको.
Okay.
So then she's like, okay, this is my budget. Now tell me what you want. So I said, okay, I want the Powermatic. It had just come out then.
Okay.
With the open heart.
Yeah.
And
So it was your choice to get
It
the
was
open
my
heart.
choice.
Oh, wonderful.
My friends asked me what I wanted.
Yeah.
So this friend of mine that lives in Canada, I said that, you know,
Yeah.
so much in the States.
Yeah.
Have someone bring it over for
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah, these
it's a
never
lot
came
more
to
in
India.
No,
These
it did
never-
come to India.
it did come to India?
Amazon was selling them, but at 3.5, 4 times the price.
Oh, okay.
It was, I think, hardly 20K or 18K from
abroad,
the
yeah,
States.
sure, yeah.
But here,
Like
through
75,
Amazon,
80K,
yeah,
something like that.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So this is how these two came about. And these are my wedding presents, so I don't think they'll ever
Yeah.
leave my collection.
Nice.
It is always going to be there.
Do you think that you want to make them leave your collection?
Never. Unfortunately,
No, see,
I'm
it's-
trying to keep my box at 12.
Fair. That makes sense. Okay. But then you said you have a lot more watches than the 12 watches you've got today.
वो मैं कभी बोलूँगा नहीं. My wife never sees this. I have a box of 12, the others are hidden away.
I don't know. Yeah. He has just 12 watches. They keep rotating amongst themselves. So this one's not going anywhere. Fair.
Yeah.
And of course, your friends gifted this to you for your wedding, so not going anywhere. Tell me, we've talked a ton about your watches, right? Let's veer to the philosophical end of it.
Okay.
What do you think watch collecting actually means anymore? Is it just about, buying stuff, going out and throwing money, going out and just hoarding things?
I think to everybody, watch collecting is a different sort of, experience or like they have their own reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm not denying that you will have collectors that
Sure.
will park their money in watches expecting them to appreciate, or
Yeah.
someone that would want to buy watches just to flaunt in
Yeah,
someone's face.
fair.
But I think
Yeah.
the purity of any hobby is the fact that you enjoy its company.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, like you said, I'm a chef.
Yeah,
Although that remains a hobby now.
Yeah.
F&B to chhoot gaya.
sure.
But that gives me great joy. Like
Mhm.
I still think it's one of those things I enjoy the most.
Hmm.
And similarly with watches, I'm at a place of peace because I found that one watch that I'm just happy wearing everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think men have only two forms of jewelry, which is watches and pens.
Yeah,
Everything else
sure.
is imitating women.
Yeah, sure. Sneakers and stuff, it's all... well, that's a
It's not
nice hobby.
jewelry.
Yeah, it's not jewelry, true.
That's clothing, that's accessories.
Sure.
I still firmly believe that watches are not a bad investment.
Mm.
Most cases,
Yeah.
when women go out and buy jewelry, they do lose money on it.
Yeah,
If you're buying pure gold jewelry,
That's
the fact
right.
that gold went up. But if
That's
you're buying
right.
anything with any stone on it, or any
It's a-
kundan or
yeah,
meenakari or all that,
yeah,
it's
immediate
going to tank.
yeah,
So, your wife lies to you about how she says that jewelry is investment,
yeah.
and you lie to your wife. But to be fair, there is some
yeah.
truth in it.
Sure,
And
sure.
I think, if nothing, watches will definitely outbeat diamond jewelry.
Any day. Any day.
Provided you're not buying it in Victor.
Ah, well, Don't do that. I appreciate that candor. It's important to have perspective.
Yeah.
Because there are so many chains of thoughts going around in the hobby, in the world of watch collecting and rather watch buying. That's what it's become these days.
True.
To have a good perspective is very important, and that centers you, that focuses you back into knowing what you want, what you like. And,
I honestly, sorry, I
No, no,
didn't cut you
yeah,
off,
no,
but yeah,
please.
I just I was adding on to that
Yeah.
most of my watches were never bought with the intention of ever selling.
Yeah, yeah,
I never looked at a watch in a manner that this will get me great returns.
sure,
I know for a fact that on a rainy day, I could flip most of them,
sure,
and I would get back, if not the entire or not more,
Yeah.
at least a substantial part of what I
absolutely,
invested in.
absolutely.
That being said, they give me great joy.
Yeah,
They have given me a community
yeah, sure,
that I could not put a price on.
yeah,
And I think one of our first conversations, I spoke to you the last time you were in
yeah,
Pune,
yeah,
was when you were selling the Seiko Cyclops.
yeah. That's right.
With,
Yes,
with
yes.
the
Oh,
spring
yes,
light.
yes.
And which is how I heard about then Watch Enthusiasts India,
Yeah.
now Chronoholics. And we sort of spoke on a
Mm-hmm.
watch selling group,
Yeah.
like a reselling group.
Yeah,
And we really hit it off. Like,
yeah.
you
We
know.
did. Yeah.
And again, it was right after COVID.
Right.
And I didn't buy the watch from you.
Sure, no. It led to a great friendship. I
It
mean,
led to a great
what
friendship,
else can I ask for,
yeah.
right?
And you told me about the group, and you
Yeah.
didn't tell me that it was your group. It was like, it was a group of fun people.
Yeah.
And see if you'd like to join it. Like,
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, for sure. I joined it, and,
Yeah.
and as I settled in, I was like, yeah, man, these are great people, and
No, Pune has always had my heart, and now it has my friends as well. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I love coming back to Pune.
yeah.
So we've done the bit of the philosophy behind it. Tell me any regrets in the hobby, something that you missed buying, something that you bought and you said, why did I buy it?
I did tell you about the Omega.
Yes, you did.
That I bought,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then so it was not a big regret, but yeah, it was there. I wore it. I let it go. It's not something that stuck. But yeah, I don't think I regret buying any of my watches.
Sure.
Very happy with them.
Yeah.
At least the ones I have right now. I have
Yeah.
the older ones that I do
Sure.
regret. That
Okay.
I've gotten rid of.
That's all right. If you've
I
gotten
had a
rid of them, that's
CK,
okay.
I had a Invicta.
Yeah.
And I think some I just gave away. Then eventually I realized you can sell watches.
You can sell watches too. Yes, correct.
So then I sold.
Yeah.
I have a couple of old. I had the old Seiko 5.
Right.
I had a brown dial with rose gold hands.
Okay.
Very unique watch. So
Yeah.
that I sold. Made a friend out of it.
Very nice.
And surprisingly, I think when you put a value to a watch,
Yeah.
the gentleman that or the lady or whoever
Sure, sure.
takes it, sort of values it more.
Yeah. That's true.
And
That's true.
if you're just giving out stuff, often that appreciation doesn't come for it.
Absolutely.
So I've also realized that buying watches, selling watches, I've usually made friends in the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
'cause-
we've built a community on this. I
Yeah.
mean, what else could I have asked for? I mean,
Right.
and I was telling this to some other friends of mine in Delhi, and they asked me, oh, what's this community about? What do you do watches? Like, look, watches bring us together, but it's the brotherhood that makes us stay. So yeah,
the last time I was going for this meet, I met a friend in Delhi,
yeah,
and I was telling, so I was out with my wife and her friends, and I
Sure.
was telling her that I have a watch meet up in the evening. And she's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
A bunch of douchey guys meet about their really fancy watches.
Well, yes, but
And then I made them read the message you had sent out.
Yeah.
That, I forget exactly how it was worded,
yeah,
but it was on the lines of, show up in your sneakers, come in what you're comfortable in, we don't judge on what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And let's change how people or how the watch collectors of the world look at this hobby. I like that how it's a community and it's not commercialized. It's about,
yeah.
it's never about, I'll get you a deal on a watch or, bro, this is a great investment. It's about, does it bring you happiness?
Yeah, true.
And I think that is the purest form of the hobby that you should have.
Yeah, trust me, we worked very hard to build this whole ecosystem,
Right.
So we had a great conversation. We've touched upon so many aspects of your collection, of the philosophy of collecting. Any message that you want to give to fellow chronoholics out there? Any new entrants into the hobby? Any veterans of the hobby? What would you like to say to the
I'm going to
chronoholics?
say what you say all the time.
Yeah,
Don't chase the deal, chase the watch.
that is true, and it's served us well so far, right?
And yeah, it has. Because I will completely agree with you on that. On so many occasions, Of course, this is the exception.
This is the exception, sure. The
Where
devil,
the
yeah.
deal was so good, I bought it and I'm just really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But on so many occasions, I know so many people that have jumped the gun because the deal was good.
Yeah. This is a pitfall, to just buy it because it's a good deal and you end up regretting it later. All right. So, had a great conversation and you heard it from the man himself. I think we can safely say today that we know Mrunal as a collector much better than ever before. And you know what? Thank you, my man, for taking out the time and from your busy schedule for talking to us, talking watches. I mean, who does that? Who has the time for that in this world, right?
Time hi to hai usi ke liye.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And we'll be back with another episode of Chronoholic Stories very soon. Stay tuned.